Bernie gets, the jurors,
He said
12
Bernie
of whom
Getz.
all have to agree,
Remember
right?
Bernie Getz, the guy who shot
Mr.
the black
Penny
kids on
has
the
to
train?
testify. He's the only one that can tell the jury, I did not intend to kill this man. I wanted to stop the threat. I don't know if he testified in the grand jury because they're secret, but that's the way this case
though?
is
This is what
going.
kills me. You
And
didn't stop a threat.
you opened up a really important point.
There was no
Every
reason
day,
for you to
this
put your
jury's gonna
hands
do
on
field
that man.
tests.
You know what I mean?
They're
You
gonna
can
be
act as
taking
crazy
the
as you
subway
want because
back
I'm
and
not
forth
helping you
to
solve your
Harlem, to the Upper
issues.
West
Why am
Side.
I going to
And
address
every
it by
day they're going to
attacking
be-
you?
Penny has been found not guilty of criminally negligent homicide in the death of Jordan Neely. This comes after the more serious charge of manslaughter was dropped Friday because the jury could not reach a decision.
Our next guest says the level of accountability in this case is difficult to determine, but no accountability is unacceptable. Public advocate Jumaane Williams, explain what you meant by that statement.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And I think folks sometimes have problems holding, different thoughts at the same time. I think it is okay to understand that perhaps Daniel Penny didn't intend to kill Jordan Neely, but he did. He choked him to death, and there should be accountability for that. And the fact that there wasn't should worry everybody in this city. As I mentioned, it's easy. It's okay to say, trying to figure out what the actual charge should be. And the top charge was dropped. And many of us thought, well, at least there'll be some accountability with criminal negligent homicide. The fact that there was nothing really just devalues the life of someone who actually had a lot of value. And we just didn't honor that today. And to see people celebrating that verdict is disturbing.
Yeah, and you went on to say that the verdict sets a dangerous precedent, right, in terms of violence against marginalized people. So can you explain that comment? And also just take it one step further, right, because there were some comments yesterday that said because there was no accountability, what you're talking about, does that mean that other New Yorkers may feel that they can do similar things if they feel that they are in the presence of danger?
I heard a lot of folks saying what effect it would have if he was found guilty. Would people step up to help if needed? There wasn't a lot of conversation about the other side of that, which is where we're in now. If people can just say, I felt in danger, I seemed in danger, and that's why I killed this person, what kind of city are we going to have? And to hear the mayor say something like Daniel Penny did what the city should have done is also equally disturbing. We just cannot go around killing people because we said we felt afraid. And I can't speak for those folks who were on that subway and what they were feeling. I do know stepping in to assist can't just be you're killing people. And it's always the folks who are most marginalized. Jordan Neely came on that subway and said, I'm hungry. That's how he started off with. So there was so many failures before we got to that. And unfortunately, we failed him even in that.
You mentioned
some of them, obviously, because we all know what happens on the subway. There's real danger sometimes.
What does there's another
He plays this
right?
guardian role.
Bragg,
I think he's trying to play like this guardian angel
doesn't
role.
care
Like,
if you
I'm
push
just looking out for
old
the
women
citizens on the train.
in front
You
of
know what I mean?
subways, then you get off. But this guy is getting charged murder. What does he have to prove, and what is the minimum that Penny has to?
You see, and that's the problem too. Media doesn't. You see the tone of this. I don't even want to give light to the show. That's why I'm not even showing it. The tone is that this guy was doing a patriotic duty, like he was defending innocent people going to work, and this crazy Michael Jackson impersonator was threatening everybody. Like, if I'm threatening you, my existence is threatening to you, that's on your behalf. That's because of the way you're taking it, right? If I didn't physically touch you, assault you, or hurt you, you shouldn't be touching me. That's the New York rule. You know what I mean? Don't touch me. You know what I mean? If you bump me, say, excuse me, pardon me, do a little holy in and now bow and move forward. You know what I mean? But I think that the problem is that the complexity of social interactions is based on race as well and classism. So when a person is homeless, when a person is going through mental health, you just kind of want to avoid that because the city doesn't have safe systems. The city doesn't have credible messengers out there in the community to help people with mental health. The city's not making an effort to stop this. Their thing is arresting you. Their thing, it's not the point that you're homeless. It's the point that you're committing a crime while you're being, and that's secondary. Your conditions, your life, your health, that's secondary. What comes first is that you're standing on trespassing property, or that you hopped this train, or that you committed a crime. How many people we seen killed over 290, right? How many people we seen for hopping a train, or for telling an officer how they felt, or for an officer having a bad day and just harassing this person who may be either selling food illegally or struggling to make money. If your job is to protect society, then your immediate response should not be to charge that person with a crime, but to be the person committed to help give resources and support and help that person. That's how we can make it better in New York. I would love to know how your feelings is in the comments. Let me know. But this case is a sham, guaranteed.
Homeless man in a chokehold. The man died. Penny was charged with manslaughter. Now, the very New Yorkers who ride the subway every day will be his jurors. With us now, Michael DeSharo, one of our favorite guests in New York, criminal defense attorney, former
Always good to see you.
assistant district attorney. This is like a Law and Order episode, right? I'm thinking the defense wants jurors who ride the subway every day.
Absolutely. And they want jurors that ride the subway and jurors that are concerned about their safety if something like that happens.
Well, if you've been on the New York subway, even as a visitor, as I have, you should be concerned about your safety. I thought about the protesters outside, the people chanting murder and murder and everything. All I can think of is who now today would protect anybody on the New York subway if rather than getting a medal, you're going to get arrested and charged with murder?
Hey, Mr. Five here. This is one of the major problems in New York City. There seems to be this misunderstanding that homelessness and people, who are performing on a train is synonymous with the same. And I think that there's a larger history in New York City of subway performers, actors, people used to bring grand pianos, like famous jazz artists, like people have performed in the subway, dancing, mimes, acting, artwork. Like, this is New York. It's a staple of our city, right? Now, if a black man who's a performer and then somehow gets choked out and murdered by this guy, which is crazy, as a bystander, people are saying he doesn't get a fair trial because the jury of his peers would be actual peers who ride the subway and kind of understanding. So they're saying that they would be too lenient in some sense. I don't understand that. Other voices in the room? Hey, Mysterious Tracy, how you doing? What do you think about this Daniel Neely case? Isn't it crazy? Like, this guy's getting a trial. Now they're saying this trial is going to be unfair, so they're trying to move it to another place rather than New York City.
Why didn't he choke him out in New York City?
He choked him out in New York City. That's my thing.
If you hear choking niggas out in New York City, then you need to be standing trial.
Exactly.
In New York City.
Thank you. That's what I feel. That's what I feel.
He's trying to use that case where the guy shot the other guy with his own gun, but that man didn't do nothing to you or anybody else on the train, so why'd you touch him?
Exactly. Number two, he was protecting the other people on the train who also testified and made statements against him. Like, we didn't need protection. He wasn't harming us, right? The other part is, I think if he was a black man, this wouldn't even be happening, What do you think? This wouldn't even be happening if this was a black man. Black man on a train, instantly guilty. He's guilty. He killed him, murdered, lock him up. Matter of fact, he might not have made it out of there with the arrest. It might have been ugly. You know what I mean? I just think that when a person has mental health challenges, there's no empathy involved, right? There's no emotional recourse to say, wait a minute, let's give him special help, or maybe this person couldn't communicate in the best abilities. Even that, my thing is that, did he put hands on you? Did he touch you? Like, did he say something to you directly? Was he aggressively attacking you? Because if you don't touch me in New York, if you touch me, I'm going to touch you first. I don't care if you bump me first. If you bump me first, that's like you hit me first. In New York, right? You think? Yeah? Tracy, no? Anyway, so obviously I'm talking to myself, and thank you. Leave you guys later.